This is a map of the largest private employers in each state. You may be thinking, wow, Walmart employs like half of America. Or, okay, that one must be Michigan because it looks like a mitten. Here's another map that shows states where Walmart is one of the top 3 private employers. This video is about how Walmart went completely sicko mode and became the largest private employer in the world with 2.1 million workers. Sorry, I mean associates. With a capital S. The year is 1945. A young chap by the name of Samuel "Certified Baby" Walton bought a little franchise convenience store with some money from his rich daddy-in-law. Within 3 years, he tripled the revenue. Naturally, the landlord of the store was like, dude, this is incredible. I don't know how you did it. I couldn't be more pleased. But I'm gonna let my son run the store now. He ended the lease. Samuel was like, I bet, and bought another franchise store. However, this one was with a 99-year lease. You know, because that's a big number. Then he bought another store, and then another store, and then he was like, I like planes. So he bought a plane. By 1962, he had 15 small stores with the franchise. But then he asked, what if we take a big store and put it in a small town? The franchise owners looked at him and said, small town, small store. Big town, big store. I don't think you know how this works. So old Sammy was like, fine, I'll do it myself. The idea was simple. You take multi-department stores commonly found in large cities, put them in small towns, undercut the competition, run everyone else out of business, then employ them to work at your store, and then scale with volume. The main issue with this model was the extremely thin profit margins. Since he had a wife and 4 kids, he had to be financially responsible. So he took a loan on his house and borrowed a bunch of money from banks and opened his first little Walmart. And it worked! Some would even say it was bussin'. No one said that. Within 5 years, he opened 18 more stores. But in order to provide low prices, he had to borrow a bunch of money from banks to build new stores, start a trucking company, and create this yeehaw horrendous logo. You know, like Texas? They got into so much debt that they ran out of banks. So the bankers were like, hey, don't run, please walk. Sorry, that was 2 puns in a row. I'm gonna stop. The only option left was to pay a visit to Wall Street. Hello, anyone there? I'd like to destroy local economies, thank you. In 1970, Walmart went public, and within 2 years, it was on the New York Stock Exchange. Yeah, like the New York. Like from Sesame Street? In 1974, the phrase, it's everyday bro, I mean everyday low prices, was coined. 1979, Sammy goes brr and hits 1 billion American dollars in sales and gets the sick truck. 1981, mwah, this perfection of a logo is unleashed onto Earth. 1983, Walmart hits the gym and goes bulk mode and opens Sam's Club, beating the first Costco by 5 months. The first Walmart Supercenter opened in 1988, which had anything from groceries to lawn care to Ronald McDonald planning his tyrannic takeover. 1990, Walmart becomes the nation's #1 retailer, and the following year goes Mr. Worldwide and opens the first of many global stores in Mexico City. 1993, Walmart creates a brand that even to this day looks like it was designed by a class of 5th graders with Microsoft Word. The iconic, yet subtly unaesthetic, Great Value. 1999, Walmart finally becomes the largest private employer in the world with 1,140,000 associates. Since then, Walmart has continued to open up new stores and grow as a company. That's a pretty cool animation, because it's like turning. However, Walmart did peak in 2018 with 11,700 stores, and since then has been on a steady decline. Over the last 25 years, they launched Walmart.com, removed the hyphen in their name, fired a bunch of people and replaced them with self-checkout registers, had a record amount of theft because of self-checkout registers, said reverse, and started to get rid of self-checkout registers, and in 2023, they made $611 billion in revenue. But because their profit margins are so slim, the net income was only like $12 billion. Yeah, only. All right, time to get a little blue. Some people say every Walmart that was built in a small town destroyed the small business economy of that town. They gained monopolies in local markets, but didn't technically prevent competition, just made it near impossible because of predatory pricing. Low prices. When smaller stores closed, those jobs were absorbed by Walmart because there wasn't really anywhere else to work. Do this 10,000 times and you get, say it with me, a greedy corporation that feeds off of underpaid workers and unethical practices. I mean a successful business. And I don't mean to come off as anti-capitalistic here. The issue is not beating the competition with low prices, but how you're actually getting those low prices to begin with. Sure, in the beginning, it was by going directly to the local manufacturer and having more efficient management practices. But after a certain point, Walmart turned to anything and everything to increase their profits. Like threatening suppliers to pull their products off the shelf if they don't lower prices, having unsafe working conditions in foreign countries, illegally disposing waste. Shall I go on? Okay, no problem. Hiring undocumented workers so they could pay them less than minimum wage, paying overseas workers as little as 18 cents per hour, anti-union propaganda. I mean, just look at the criticism of Walmart page on the wiki. There's a reason they're sued 20 times every single day. A lot of people argue that Sam would have hated how the company is run nowadays, because there's this image of Sam Walton as being this nice guy who cared about his workers and the community. I mean, just look at this break room picture of him having lunch with his employees. Does that look like a guy that would underpay his employees to the point where they had to get Medicaid because they couldn't afford Walmart's health insurance? Sam constantly talked about how much respect he has for his employees and how Walmart wouldn't be what it is without them. Also, there are countless stories of people who had very positive interactions with him. And he did implement the employee profit sharing system. So at the very least, he recognized the need to appear as though he cared about his workers. But he was a businessman, and a phenomenal one at that, because he literally took the common rules of running a retail store and said no. His priorities were to grow the company, not cater to his employees. And heck, maybe in the beginning he actually did care, but over time, and especially after going public, he focused more on the numbers and how to reach higher profits. You know, bigger number, bigger truck. Also, he didn't really care about the small stores that Walmart closed down, because his business model literally relied on discouraging any competition once he set up shop. Did you say your family has had this cheese store for 14 generations? Cool story, but you work for me now. Don't worry, this place will make a great parking lot for us. On the other hand, it's worth mentioning that before Walmart, there were a few local stores in rural towns that were making an absurd amount of money by overcharging customers because they had local monopolies on certain products. Sam just played the capitalism game. He said, hey, you see that thing over there? I can give it to you cheaper. He took the spooky risk of building out the infrastructure and gave the people literally what they wanted. It's not a surprise that people Naruto sprinted to Walmart and ditched their local overpriced mom and pop shops. Objectively, Walmart was a huge win for middle America. They got bottom of the barrel prices for American-made quality products. At least back then. But that does not discern the fact that the Walmart effect is very real and destroyed a bunch of good families in the process. But hey, that's just business. Am I right? Or am I... No. Ooh, that's a good deal. If you like what you saw, check out my other videos. Thank you.
The rat goes like this, like this, like this. You are now a normal rat.